All right, step 15. As I mentioned before, we're going to go in. Now, the thing about these boxes that go on the bottom up here to start with is that even though they slide in to their slots, they also can move. You got to make sure they stay flat against this part of the frame. When you put them on, you don't want them leaning back. That means you can't put any undue pressure on them. So there's that right there. There's that box right there. Now you've got your two storage boxes underneath started. You'll notice that you couldn't skip the step before. This is step 16. That was step 14. Okay. Anyways, there are the two boxes. You had to get the wiring in behind them, otherwise it would have been even harder, if not impossible. Let's put this off to the side. That is step 16. Oh, I guess step 15, I did step 14 and step 15 before. I didn't see the 15 on the far side. Whatever, we got her done. One side of the wiring was 14, one side of the other wire was 15. Okay, so dealing with this, simple enough. All the parts have been cleaned up, but nubs to the outside. This goes in like so, right here. One of your lifting legs, or landing gear as they are sometimes called. So again, the cap goes out towards the front like that. Put a little extra in here. Now your rotating arm, all of this is supposed to be glued. So I'm going to put it on. However, when these things are stored, unless you have the landing gear down, as it were, they tend to store the arms close to the body rather than sticking out, just so then they don't end up getting whacked by stuff. Because there's nothing worse than breaking off an arm or getting it out of kilter, so you have to try and rebend this back or replace it. Trust me, it's pain. So I've got it with the arm back up towards the leg. I know gravity would seem to pull it down, but it's not that loose. The gears in there tend to hold these arms pretty good, so they'll stick up at any angle you leave them at. Sounds odd, but it's real. All right, so in this one, take this and glue this in. There's no key, no rhyme or reason. It can go in any direction, just so long as it's generally squared up. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second here. So usually when you have a foot on, the tubing, the square tubing of the arm matches up with the square shape, or this might be a rectangle in real life or something, but it squares up with the foot in general. So you want it to be like that, not like 45 degrees and kind of off. And the way that this looks for right now is another, and I'm going to call them gimmicks, and I know that that's not always what people like, but you put this up inside here, and then you're able to put the locking pin, and you're not supposed to glue this, the locking pin in, so that if you decide at another date and time you want to have the landing gear down, boom, you can have it down. Keep it that way if you want. That's your personal choice. Now you got to make two bends on this to get it to have, sorry, I gotta move that, to get it to have this shape. You have two formed bends, and remember, you bend into the shape. There's that. Need to get my razor blade. So there's that. Tuck in like so. Now, this right here has different angles than what I'm doing, but I want to start with that for the smaller one. See what I mean? It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a much tighter one, but now that I've got it started, oh, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Want to have it at less than that, so then when I bend this, and this being much bigger is easier to deal with, I can bend it to roughly the same angle with my hand. And yeah, that looks to be about the right angle. It's going to be harder to push this any further than it is, and for this to maintain without wanting to be pushed in. It's kind of an odd setup, but that's what it is. Now what I'm going to do is put a little super glue in here, because I'm going to pop in the reflector pad like so. Good enough. These try to be put on straight, but they don't always in real life get put on straight. There's a little bit of glue on the outside here. You can clean that right off while it's still not fully cured. But anyways, there you go. That's that part. I am not attaching the clear part GP3-4 or -5. I don't know what they're gonna, the person I'm building for is gonna want, but you put two of them on there, either -4 or -5, but one or the other on there. And then you've got your two bed spikes. Well, okay, they're not, they're tie down points is really what they are. Now one goes on the side right here, except pushed up to that point, and one goes in the notch. I've got to get this set up. So I'm going to be putting it right there. So I just put some glue on the edges. And all I'm trying to do is square up the front so that the side has, using the front portion here, that sets it up as square because this part right here is rounded. So it's going to be hard to set it. So I wanted to set it right there, square, looks good. And that looks good as well. Then I'm going to take this one, which is a different shape, but just goes right into the slot. I just want to make sure that it's not leaning to the side. Have it straight forward, have that also leaning straight up. Now in real life, those things might get bent. I mean, you're going to shackle some pretty intensely heavy stuff onto that. And then this right here gets placed right on here. Now, as I just felt, you got to be careful with your boxes. that you don't drop them down like I just did. In other words, be careful where you put your hands. So I'm going to do is take it from the bottom here so I can have good control over it. And trying to get it in screen. Put it like so. Did I even get glue on it? Maybe? Okay, I know I got glue on it, but there. Glues right into the edge. Now, I don't have my glue's starting to gel up on here, so I don't want to mess with that. And what you're going to end up doing is taking this right here and using those two brackets in here as a guide. Somehow that doesn't feel quite right. It's because that bottom edge. But I'm pretty sure you're supposed to glue those. I'm used to them being straight, not like that. I'm used to them being straight up and down, not angled like so. So, with that information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to research this a little bit, find out if that's supposed to go in there, because it should go in straight, because you got a lip on the bottom, but you also have this lip on the top. But for whatever reason, it feels like there's something pushing on the bottom more than the top. And I don't want to distort this while it's drying. So we'll be doing the other side the next step, and we'll confirm what the deal is with that when we get to it. So there you go for step 16.